spot one more time. Amen? Let's give God a hand clap of praise. God worthy? Yes, He is. Yes, He is. We're going to open up this morning with hymn number 136. Glory to His name. We're asking everybody now, let's join in and let's give God praises this morning. Amen. We're not here for no form or fashion, but we're here to give God the honor and praise that due Him this morning. Amen? Amen. Amen. Down at the cross where my Savior died, down where from sin I ran, into my heart was the blood of Lamb.
Portrayed President Barack Obama, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Sheriff Anthony Dennis, Mahalia Jackson, and many, many more. At this time, may we all stand to our feet and face the middle aisle, please. I now present to you all a Williams production, directed and produced by the King himself, the Honorable Mr. Dreyfus Williams. Hear ye all, from our Black historian, her.
And Neal Brothers Construction Incorporated. Joyce Neal and Neal Brothers Construction Incorporation will keep things straight. I am Joyce Neal. As a student, I attended school in this community. At that time, my father, Joyce Neal Sr., was principal. I served in the United States Air Force for 2 years, receiving an honorable discharge. Returned to farming with my brothers, but needed another career. I began working in construction as a carpenter with Dan Trotter Construction, becoming construction superintendent for the company, supervising commercial and residential projects in South Carolina. The experience from this job gave me the needed confidence that I was ready to venture into a construction company of my own. I left Trotter Construction Company. My first contract to build a home was for our former minister, the late Reverend R.W. Stalling. Then more work came. My team and I built several homes along North Main Street for minister formerly known as Preacher's Row. In 1960, with all of the building construction, I needed knowledgeable help. My brother Bernie W. Neal was convinced to become a partner in the construction business. Our business was incorporated and Neal Brothers Builders Incorporated was established. For the past 49 years, Neal Brothers developed a reputation for quality construction, honesty, and integrity. We created jobs and taught our trade to many young workers who worked with us. In 1970, we built an office and warehouse facility at 1361 Pecala Road and provided a baseball field for community recreation. Our current New Bethel Church Sanctuary was built by Neal Brothers in 1976. The excellent reputation spread and we were secured to build many homes and small commercial projects throughout the Midlands of South Carolina. Many of the beautiful homes built in the Runnymede community were built by Neal Brothers. In 1996, my brother Bernie Neal passed away and his son Aldrafus Neal became active in the business. Our son Wilford Neal entered the business in 2001. As I ride through the surrounding counties of Sumter, my mind and heart smile as we observe structures built by our company. Maybe we can say they had shelter, but we gave them a better place to live and enjoy their families. Thank you.
I am Attorney Dorothy Vermel Sampson of Sampson and Sampson Law Firm, Sumter, South Carolina. At an early age, I always believed every life had a purpose. Believing this led me to graduate from Master Academy, Camden, South Carolina, Hampton Institute, now Hampton University, Hampton, Virginia, and North Carolina College of Law, Durham, North Carolina. I was the first African-American female attorney in Sumter County and an advocate for civil rights for my people, who were often taken advantage of by those in authority and those with their Jim Crow segregated laws. Many of my clients at times weren't able to pay, but we kept them out of harm's way. I must share these events with you before I leave. It was in the 60s, during the Sumter movement and civil rights movement for equality. As the white people call it, the so-called Sumter movement. Several Negro citizens were asked to attend or tried to attend a white church service. My first church was First Presbyterian Church on North Main Street. I entered. The police was called and escorted me out of God's house. The doors was locked for the rest of the service. My second church was the white Bethel Church located on Bethel Church Road. I walked in to be seated, but was ushered out by a crowd of members, who then blocked the doors and called the police. I left before the police arrived. God's house for God's people. Did I enter the wrong house? On many entanglements with the Southern Lords, I fought back with words. But on this day, my cup runneth over. In a public place, loudly a policeman called me Dorothy. All I remember is that I can't punch one or two of them in the face or somewhere. In none uncertain words, I told them, call me attorney or Miss Sampson. They did not take me to jail, but fined me. I paid it with great satisfaction, where they started calling me Sampson. No title. Also, I was among the lawyers who defended my sister, Irene Sampson Williams, for her civil rights activities in the federal court case against Sumter School District 2. Young Americans, we endured the lynching, the burning of homes and churches, the bloody murders, the night riders and drivers of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, KKK, the beatings, the pain, the having to leave your home by night, the loss of jobs, the loss of credit to buy seeds and fertilizers by Negro farmers, and other brutal acts. Because of all the freedom, non-violent movements throughout the southern states, forcing the civil rights to be passed, we are free to be wherever we wish. We are free. We are free. We are free.
James Hart, sit down from that window and open your book. I know you think you see Luther made Adam from Remini. Hart, you can't even spell, girl. Yes, I can. Spell it. G-R-U-L-L. I hope you got that. I am Dreyfus Williams. My teaching career began in 1953 after graduating from the Colored Normal Industrial, Agriculture, and Mechanical College, Orangeburg, South Carolina, with a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, which is now South Carolina State University. I was assigned to a new beautiful school in Lakeview, South Carolina, Denton County, by my teacher trainer. The new school was a result of the separate but equal building project to avoid integrating schools in our state. After 3 months into my teaching career, I was drafted into the United States Army. There I served 2 years. After being discharged in 1955, I returned to my teaching position at Columbus School in Lakeview. The town was ruled to the point where the family I boarded with
had an open water well, our only source of water. Every evening my landlord would say, "Williams, get out there and let down that bucket for your morning water." "Really, church?" I heard and literally saw frogs jumping down that water. I went back to the house with water. He would also add, "By the way, don't forget to bring your night pot." I thought I'd live all of that. I will say no more, other than precious memories. Oh, how they linger. The following year, 1956, I was employed at Manchester School, Pinewood, South Carolina, where my high school girlfriend was teaching since it opened in 1954. She was my home economics teacher, and I was her ag man. The two departments worked together in all schools. Well, we made several visits to each other's classes. Her classroom consisted of a wall of windows, and my classroom door faced hers. So, James Hodge, I would just stand in the door and look good to better, and maybe wave. It was Miss Sampson girls and Mr. Williams ag boys. Time passed and a lot happened in between. I recall a few of my adult night classes. My welding class, in which James Blair really learned how to weld and made a career out of it. Also in attendance was the late Woodrow Hasty, the late Deacon Otis Hodge, and son James Hodge. My small engine repair and legal affairs class. Keep in mind, church, we brought in a specialist to teach these classes. So don't call me to do any of these jobs, with the exception of welding. During the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s, I was still teaching agriculture at Manchester School in Pinewood. There's where I considered my students my children. Feeling the spirit of freedom, like many others throughout the southern states, I rallied for the day they could apply for a job of their choice, not just for color. I joined the freedom marches and those picketing the main street stores in Sumter for a day when these students could vote without fear and not have to look anymore for a sign that says colored. I protested so that I, along with my fellow Negro farmers, could obtain loans from banks in which we held accounts. We protested not just as colored farmers, but as farmers and citizens of Sumter County. Now, my fellow farmers and I could go to the bank and seek loans, not as coloreds, but as American citizens. Today, my former students and those after integration are working or retired from jobs in various positions that weren't dreamed of for Negroes in and before the 1960s. From 1980 to 1995, 15 years, the Future Farmers of America, the FFA, student organization at Furman High School sponsored an annual agricultural and environmental show in the yard of our home and the sloping pasture. The event was designed to teach preschoolers from Sumter, Lee, Clarendon, and Kershaw counties about agriculture and the environment. It did. Our church, New Bethel, allowed us to park the many school buses in the church parking lot. We also received assistance from the following church members: Deacon and Ms. Jessie Glenkamp, Ms. Mamie Lee Scriven, and Ms. Lucille B. Hasty. This could have been others. Our attendance totaled approximately 1,500 preschoolers per show over the years. Thanks to all of the students, exhibitors, parents, teachers, and school officials, as well as supporters. During the first few years of school integration and the Black and Beautiful movement, my students would make the following comments to see whose side I was on. And I quote, "Mr. Williams, remember, I am white." My reply, "So am I." "Mr. Williams, man, I am black and beautiful." My answer, "So am I." I am white as snow and black as midnight. We're not here to promote color, but to promote agriculture, the FFA, and education. Go sit it down. It is best to be fair in the game of life. Thank you.
Irene B. Sampson Williams. I became involved in the civil rights struggle in Sumter, South Carolina during the 1960s, picketed in front of Main Street stores with groups from Equal Employment, joined the silent marches down Main Street, Sumter, and on one occasion, I was arrested and jailed as a criminal. My family paid $100 to get me out. I also attended and participated in the Sumter Movement civil rights meetings. In August of 1963, I missed my first day of work at school to attend the historic March on Washington. Never had I had such an inspiring event hearing Dr. Martin Luther King's speech, "I Have a Dream." I returned dedicated to fight for a better life for my people. My involvement with the Sumter Movement for Equal Rights became more personal with the insistence that 6 of my students at Manchester School, Pinewood, South Carolina, be allowed to participate in the National Make It Yourself Wool Contest held at the Wade Hampton Hotel in Columbia, South Carolina. The district superintendent said, "No, no, white students only in South Carolina." All resulted in me not receiving a teaching contract at the end of the 1964 school term. During this period, I was denied any teaching job in the state of South Carolina. I took Sumter School District to court. From 1964 to 1966, I taught at Morris College, Sumter, South Carolina. Morris College was a private Negro Baptist college. While at Morris College, my civil rights case moved into federal courts. And during this time, many of my friends and some family members said I should have known better and avoided my presence and being seen with us in public places where there might be white officials. But the shadow of freedom overpowered me, and God won my battle, and God won my battle. In July of 1966, Judge Robert W. Hempfield ruled that Sumter School District 2 violated my First Amendment rights and ordered that my contract be renewed and back salary be paid. Amen. Those same friends and family members who said you should have known better, and those same ones that avoided my presence and did not want to be seen with Irene and Dreyfus Williams were among the first to shout, "We did it! We did it! We did it!" The lawyers who represented me in 1964 through 1966 as lawyers later became the Honorable Ernest A. Finney, Jr., retired South Carolina Chief Justice, the late Honorable Matthew Perry, Federal District Court Judge, the late Dorothy Vermeil Sampson, Esquire, the late Donald James Sampson, Esquire, and the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. With the knowledge, skills, and the determination of these lawyers, the victory gave Negroes greater protection under our First Amendment rights in South Carolina. In 1967, 3 years after being denied participation in the Make It Yourself wool contest, Manchester School home economic girls entered and won state awards. A bittersweet fate for the same superintendent and school board. Sumter County had 2 other state winners, Alicia Dolores Pack of Manchester in the Best Accessories category, and Sadie Ruth Johnson, also of Manchester, Best Color Coordinated Outfit. Ms. Pack was awarded a dress length of wool fabric, and Ms. Johnson received a sewing kit. Ms. Alicia Dolores Pack is the daughter of Sister Costello Pack and the sister of Brother Oscar Pack. What a difference federal laws can make. Thank you.
Ernest A. Finney, Jr. After graduating from law school in 1954, Chief Justice Ernest A. Finney, Jr. found it difficult to find earning from legal work. So he supplemented his salary by teaching school and waiting tables. Ironically, the young lawyer attended his first meeting of the South Carolina Bar as a waiter, serving other members of the bar. The reason, Finney is black. At that time, blacks weren't allowed membership in the State Lawyers Association. The times have changed. In May of 1994, the State General Assembly elected that same Ernest Finney to the position of Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court here in South Carolina. Effective December of 1994, making him the first African-American Chief Justice of South Carolina since Reconstruction. Thank you.
Dr. Booker Taylor Williams was born in Ellery, South Carolina. He was the 8th child out of 12 children, and his father was very good friends with Booker T. Washington. So this is how my father got his name. Dr. B.T. Williams was the first black dentist in Sumter, South Carolina. He practiced dentistry here for over 40 years. He received his Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from the Harvard Medical School in Nashville, Tennessee. He was one of the founding fathers of the Sumter branch of the NAACP in 1939, and he organized the state conference, which he was the first vice president. Dr. Williams served as treasurer for the South Carolina Teachers Association Defense Fund, and in 1942, he and others filed a lawsuit for equal pay for teachers of color, and this brought about the National Teachers Exam. Based on that exam, they were paid according to their grades, and they won the suit. In 1957, Dr. Williams went to Ghana, Africa, for the celebration of the independence of European domination. He had the privilege of being the guest of the President of Ghana, President Kwame Nkrumah. He served for many, many years as a trustee at Mount Pisgah AME Church. He was also a member of the National Dental Association. In 1963, Dr. B.T. Williams, Bishop F.C. James, and Reverend McCabe Miller filed a lawsuit with the United States District Court for desegregation of the Carnegie Public Library. They represented the AME social consultants in that lawsuit, and they won. That library is now the Sumter County Public Library. Dr. Williams participated actively in numerous organizations. His work brought national recognition time and time again. He was a man of distinction, a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity's icon is the Sphinx of ancient Egypt. It is the world's largest monument carved out of one single stone that sits in the center of the earth. On June 27, 1971, the Sumter branch of the NACP awarded Dr. Williams for more than 30 decades of faithful and unparalleled service to promote education, dignity, and general welfare for all people. As African people, our African culture, the last rites of passage is death. 3 days later, on June 30th, 1971, Dr. Booker Taliaferro Williams died at the age of 71 years old. Jet magazine published his death with the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, on its front cover. Asante Sana, thank you very much.
What our black have done in this community, in this state, is amazing. Young people, I hope you paid attention to what our folks had to fight for and what they had to go through. We thank you. We thank Brother Howard for entertaining this Black History Month, along with Brother Williams and all the ones that have participated this far. So let's come back on next Sunday, the last Sunday, and because we have a few more that we have to recognize. I didn't know it was so many. I didn't even know about Dr. Williams until his daughter called. I think it was Monday, or one day she called and asked me about it. I didn't even know that he was the first black dentist in Sumter. We went through a lot, church. We went through a lot. So let's keep our heritage together. Let's keep our inventors together so we can remember them in this community. So our young people will have something to still fight for. We thank Pastor Wright and the New Bethel family for allowing us to have this day. I know the time limit might have been over, but we thank God that he has a big heart and let our people see where our ancestors have come and what they have done in this community and in our lives. Let's give them another hand.